gallery of Glitchhikers. This is actually my first playthrough of this game, but I somehow suspect this is going to be a thing that I want to play. Because I've been told as much. So we're going to do a blind playthrough of this, and I'm going to talk about it. I know I've talked to my friend Jackson before, he was the one who recommended this, about how much, if I could make a game, I would love to make a game about driving at night, because I find it a very relaxing, significant experience to do that. I love to drive, especially at night. There's less cars, it's a very lonely feeling, especially in the city where it's just lights and beautiful things all around. More, especially when it's been raining and the streets are wet, and it just looks incredible. It's my favorite thing in the entire world.
And that was Pinky's Dream by
this
David
kind of country
Lynch.
driving actually
This is Radio 90,
makes me feel
and you're
really anxious
listening
because
to Night Drive.
deer and
Thanks for
raccoons
joining us tonight.
all sorts of terrible things could be
Almost
out on the
100
road.
years before Columbus ever sailed to the Americas, a Chinese explorer named Zheng He made 7 naval expeditions, traveling thousands of miles with over 300 ships. When the next emperor came to power, all the ships were destroyed, and the Ming Dynasty entered a period of isolationism that lasted hundreds of years. With that one decision, the fate of the world changed. Let's go on a journey together, with our next song, Find Me on a Whim.
I intend to play this entire game to give you the experience. I don't actually know how long it is. I was told maybe about a half hour, but we'll see. It'll go very fast. All these weird ghost cars. Okay, freaking me out a little. Are there people? Maybe like a... Go slower than that? That's just all very weird. I'd like to stop for someone if I can do that. It seems like I can't go below 90. Which would make stopping very difficult. Might as well just enjoy my lane changes. I love these lo-fi 3D games. I think they're really incredible. It's so evocative to make a game that is striving for impressionism more than realism. I feel like realism in game space is, at this point, a very overrated, overplayed concept, and I'd much rather drive this polygonal car that feels like a car more than looks like a fancy Veyron or whatever. I mean, there are games like Forza for that experience, but this doesn't have to be that. Wouldn't want it to be. I don't need my mouse, so I'll try to move that off screen. I'm sorry if that was in the video. I actually can't tell. Can I not pick people up? To go into the other lane, but can I get onto the shoulder? No, sure looks like I cannot. Oh jeez. Hi. Did pick them up. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
You just walked right in because she thought she could right there.
Sure, spiritual. Would that radio station die on us?
She just walked right in. She thought she could breathe it.
Wow, that turned out to be way more of a negative thing than I wanted. What's that red thing in the sky?
Well, that was a little different. Ever wonder why the night sky is black, even though there is nowhere you could look that doesn't eventually have a star? Shouldn't it be white? And scientists say the average color of the universe is beige. There are stars above you even in the day, and they are watching. Gravity Well, up next. Keep your eye on the road, and have a lovely drive.
I don't necessarily think the idea of stars in the sky is ominous. I'm sad that my statement was taken as a nihilistic one. They're far away, and that's sad because I think reaching them, interacting with them, exploring them would be a great thing. I think driving's part of that. I mean, it doesn't, as he says, it's not really about where you're going, especially in driving conditions like this. It's about the act of being on the move and about the feelings of your thoughts as you connect with this thing. Did I get him? I did. Eyeball. I love that the game basically just gave me what I wanted here. Good job, game. Made of the same stuff of stars. I don't know if I would say. That doesn't mean that we're not lonely, though. I think that's the problem. Like, we might all be connected on, like, a cosmic level, but deep down, we're locked into our own heads and our own spaces and our own lives. No, I don't think that's necessarily true. proper metaphor even now, even given those preconditions. It's a very negative outlook. What it's called? Sonder? I have that all the time. It's paralyzing. No, I do. It's upsetting when I do. Oh,
And the circle of life continues. We don't always have control over our lives, over what happens to us. But we do control how we react. Accept, grow, live, love, hide, fade, wither, wisen, embrace, fight. You are all alone out there, but you know, you're never alone. Millions of distinct bacteria share your body. You're never alone. Keep driving, driver. Turtles All the Way Down is up next.
thanks. I appreciate that we're essentially moving through a level structure as we pick up passengers. Where will our next one be? I couldn't imagine driving on lonely roads like this and picking up people. I would be too afraid. And more importantly, like, if you even presume, like, oh, people are perfectly safe and I can perfectly handle myself, this is such a private space. I think night driving of this type is meditative. It's a time to reflect. It's a time to dream. Get him? Hi. You're crazy. To learn something. In the framework of this game, though, it's true. Everything exists to be a thing to interact with. Pick 3. Yeah, there we go. It's a moon lady. I assume it's a lady. I don't know. I don't think that's particularly different than how we operate now. Thank you. Sonder, I'll have to remember that. Fire. That makes sense. Because they knew that fire hurt. I think rationality can be its own comfort system. I won't go so far as to call it religion, but it has the aspects of religion. I think 3 is accurate. I do think that's also part of it. Even the people I know who are religious are not in an organized way. I think that's partially part of living in an individualistic culture too, though. I already said it's a spiritual thing. Thanks. They're gone. Yeah, they're gone.
Look at the night sky. What do you see out there? Emptiness? Chaos? An uncaring void? Or do you see the stars? The art of the nebulae? The romance of distant galaxies? Is God watching you? Is she watching any of us? 7 billion people on this world, and all we have is each other. Our own little infinity. Now count back with me, driver. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. This has been Radio 90 Night Drive.
I didn't
Travel
see if
safely.
we lost
Good night.
time. I keep trying to look, but that would be truly upsetting. There is this strange, if you do drive it, and I do not recommend this is dumb and dangerous, but if you drive very tired, I have had moments where I just realize that, like, oh, I just lost a second. And a second when you're driving is a terrifying amount of time to lose. Never quite had how did I get home, but I have had, oh, that's pretty. I've had moments where it's like, oh, what exactly, like just nodding off. It's terrifying. It's the worst possible thing. That city's very cool. We're getting another hitchhiker.
Gravity,
Oh, they don't have one.
It's impressive what you do. Stronger than the strongest bull.
I don't know what side of the road there will be. Exit only.
Gravity, gravity,
Let's go
gravity. Takes two to see your bum. Though I try to run away, you're never really gone.
At the end of our voyage, it looks like it is.
But when I manage
That's
it,
really cool.
when I manage to
I think that
break
actually is
free,
kind of almost the game I wanted. More extrinsic
the
concepts about what it means to be a person who drives at night, thinks about life in the universe, but it's done really well. I like the idea of a game as a dialogue between your own thoughts if you're willing to get into the headspace of the game, and the game giving you like various viewpoints to reflect upon themselves. So it is almost like having conversations with multiple people. I think it's an important thing for a game to do that it can do really well, because when you inhabit the mind space, you become an actor who choose. Sort of like you have a possibility space, like, oh, I'm sitting here with this alien talking about the universe. How do I think about that? And then I have options, and when the game has choices that mirror my actual mindset, it's incredibly empowering. It gives you the sense that like it's obviously a very constructive narrative, but you exist in this space, and
but if I had a choice, if I had a chance to choose,
you exist in this space, and your mindset is reflected in the world, and you can have the dialogue that you would have internally, externally. Like, I can choose the thing I actually think, and that's incredible. In a space where most games give you choices where you feel like, oh, I should pick the thing that gives me the ability to game the system, the thing that I think these people it feels like your choices have meaning, but no choice is the wrong choice, is a very difficult thing. And it's a thing I wish more games explored. Is entirely dependent upon the writing. And my choices only had meaning in the sense that I wanted to engage with what this game was talking about. I don't know if they actually had meaning in terms of how this game would play out. I wouldn't pretend to answer. I could take the other path and see what's to the left, but I kind of don't want to. I don't think I wanted to get off this road. I would have happily continued to drive on and on into the night, picking people up and having those experiences. But thanks so much for watching. This will be the end of this. Seek this game out. You can find it on itch.io, links at the bottom. And you can find me on abnormalmapping.com. Thank you.